Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new video, and this is going to be not a complete tutorial because I was asked for that once I started the job. So I will just give some hints and ideas on how I have done this. So if you remember, or and if you have not seen, you can see I did a video about rebasing where I explained how I rebase the all metal Bloodthirster. Okay, that and then this was done. The base was done with this type of stones. Okay, you can see here. These are small stones, and this was put here in this size. But what I decided is when I put everything together is instead of leaving the stones as the stones, I thought that maybe it was a good idea to leave them as embers. Okay, and then I decided to go for this type of composition. This is not completely done, so I will explain the next steps now in the video, but to explain the step up to now. So this was the old round base and was glued on top of the oval base. Okay, and then I use polystyrene glue, this type of glue from Decoflare. Okay, this is like a plaster. I hope you can see this. It's like a plaster, quite smelly. And I glued. I did this type of, looks like here like mud or something like that. Okay, this was painted with Rhinocide. Okay, and the other part was painted with dark grey. In that case was Scaven Dinger. So Scaven Blight Ding. And then what I did here is I paint these stones in orange, and then I did a dry brush of black. So I did a couple of layers of orange. You can use Fire Dragon Bright. If you want them a little bit darker, you can do 12 layer orange, but you need quite a bright orange to do that. And then I just did a dry brush of black. Okay, and you get these things that is looking like embers. Okay, you can put more if you want at the extreme, but at this moment I will leave it as it is. So this was the steps. So remember, the part of the embers is done with these stones. They are glued on the base using just PVA glue. Okay, they can be glued very easily. Just put PVA and then put these stones on top of the PVA. Next step, everything was put together. I put this plaster around, and then I paint this with a bright orange. You can use any orange. And on top I just did a dry brush of black. Okay, pretty easy, pretty fast. Then I paint the brown, a dark brown and a dark grey. Next step, I'm going to apply some dye brushes on the brown. So first I will start using Scrap Brown. Okay, it's a lighter brown. You can use any one, so just giving the colors as example, but you can use from any brand, any brand at the end. And I will use makeup. I like to use for that makeup brushes. Okay, we can, because they are quite soft, but you have not destroyed them, and they are quite big. Okay, so I will use this one. I will take you can take a new one. They are much cheaper than any brush. You can see this is a really soft brush. Okay, so we are going to take some brown, and we are going to do, it's not really a dry brush, it's halfway to dry brush. Okay, I'm going to put this on the brown parts. Okay, so I'm going to go there and we'll start applying this on the brown parts. Okay, so I will do this dry brush, nothing strange, nothing new, nothing that you should not know how to do it. It's just with a big brush, it works better in that case, and you don't need to be precise of any kind. And if you are a little bit chucky, it's not a problem. So when the good thing and I think this is an important thing, when you paint bases, this is the moment for you to experiment. Okay, on bases you can really experiment techniques. If you fail, nobody will notice most of the time. The base can be more messy than the rest of the miniature. Okay, you can see here I went quite heavy, but it's not a problem. You just go a little bit around, and yeah, this can be. And on top, if you are more heavy in one zone than other, it's not a problem either, because the ground, the earth is not uniform, right? The sand is not uniform. Normally, if you go to any forest, yeah, the ground is not all with the same exactly tonality everywhere. Look anything and you will see the shadings and all the different things, and some parts will be more blanch, more bleach, or more by the sun, and other parts will have some humidity, will be darker. So this is quite normal. Okay, you can see I have done this. This is quite fast steps. The only thing that you have to be careful is not to dirten the Bloodthirster. Okay, let's go now to the stones, and then for the stones we can go in 2 layers. Okay, as I went for a very dark grey as a final result, I will start with downstone. Okay, I need to shake it a little bit. Okay, let's start with downstone. Take a little bit of downstone. Remember, this was pieces of wood. I prefer to use lighter materials than heavy stones to simulate the rocks. You can also use rocks if you want. The wood is not bad. These are cheap wood from, I don't know where it's coming from. Okay. And if you go a little bit on top of the brown, don't worry, because we are going to do a second by brush. The good thing that we have done the brown, and you can see I have not washed the brush too much, is that I still have a little bit of brown, and this brownish color will go on top of the stones, what will work quite well. Okay, so you can see some stones you can go heavier with dry brush, and other lighter. Okay, again, the stones are not the same. Okay, so the last stones. And here I'm going for a very traditional color, but you can also do them whiter, the stones. You can use browns for the stones. So you can use any color that you like on this type of stones, right? You can see it's quite fast. And yeah, as I said, and the technique I use for the embers, again, orange and dry brush of black. Very simple step. If you want to go more complex, you can use several dry brushes and generate more layers, but here I go for quite efficient and fast paint job. Now I'm playing again, and I will apply now lighter gray. So this is administratum gray. Again, I'm using administratum gray. Use the one that you like from your collection of paints. So normally when I give the colors, it's not because you use the same colors as me, it's just to give an orientation of what tonality I'm using, right? It's more, for me, more important that you see the technique than really what is the color that I'm using. This is why sometimes I don't do, well, most of the cases, unless I'm asked for, I don't put even the list of the colors I'm using, because I consider that the important thing is that you use colors from your collection. I don't want to force anyone to buy any color. As I said, I'm sharing examples on how I'm doing the things. Take a little bit more of this light gray. You can go even later on, I will go for a little bit of bone color. You can do it not on all the stones, on some of them. Okay, then we apply this. Okay. I apply it here. Sorry if I go off camera, but it's quite a big miniature. Let me go a little bit farther, and then you can see better my paint job. Okay, you can see. And now I'm going to use a little bit of bone color. You can use bone color, you can use Racker Flesh, very pale grey. I'm looking for Racker Flesh. Yeah, I think I will use a little bit of Racker Flesh here. Okay, you can see it's this type of color. So it's a broken white in a way. It's more white than greyish. With the white, and then we can do not in all stones, maybe in some of them. Okay, you can do here, for example. This is much lighter. You go there, you can see, and then you can do here. Okay, let's put on to it here. That's all. Next step. You can see I'm not even cleaning the brush. I'm okay to mix the colors. And now that I'm in the lighter gray, I will take the lighter brown. I used the scratch brown before. Now I'm going to use that cloud brown. Okay, and take a little bit of that, and we are going to apply this on the brown parts. And this will help to eliminate some of the grey that went into the brown parts. I don't like it. For example, here it's better to finalize with the brown, because then the brown will go on top of the stones a little bit. Normally the dust will go on top of the stones and not the stones on top of the dust, right? So this is why it's good to do that. And see here, for example, they went very brown. You see this is really popping out all the texture. We still have some of the Racker Flesh of before, but it's not a bad thing. And you see that everything is now, all the detail is being shown off. Okay. Okay. And after that, I will just stop the camera. I will go to wash the brush before doing the next step. So I stop the camera here, and I come back for the last step that I want to do on this miniature. And this is going to be more related to the orange that I want to apply around the fire. Okay, so again, this whole looks like now, and I'm going to wash my brush and I come back. Okay, so I have now cleaned my brush completely, and the next step is going to be the last one, and it's just to give a little bit of glow to the embers. To be fair, you should do this as well on top of the, add some orange on top of the miniature, but as this is quite an open job and this is not the purpose to do completely a repaint of the miniature, I will just do it on the stones. So I took quite a dark orange. Okay, I took Wild Rider red. It's almost a red more than orange. Okay, it's quite a dark one, and we are going to apply very little around, like a dry brush, around the embers. Okay, something like that. Just to show a little bit of glowing and not go too heavy. Here you have to be quite, this part here it's more difficult, but you want to hit a little bit, especially the panels of the rocks. And this is why I put this panel, because this will help to give this sensation. The panels of the rocks that are facing the embers. Okay, because the flat parts will not be that will not glow, right? It will not reflect the light. The panels will reflect more light because they are higher. They will reflect a little bit the light that is coming from. But here, for example, of course, here you should not put anything. here in principle should not reflect. So just something to tweak the eye, to tweak your side. Okay, we'll add a little bit more. And as you can see, I went for a very quite a darker orange, much darker than the one we used for the embers. Because at the end the glow have to be less intense than the embers itself. Okay. I want to give this reddish looking. Of course, you should add some OSL on the, if you do that, in principle you should add some OSL as well on the demon, but at this moment I prefer not to do it. Okay, so this can break a little bit the sensation, but this is how to do it. So this is done now. So I went for quite easy, simple, fast paint job, right? So you can see how it looks like. Let me take the camera and I will show you from a different angle. Okay, here you have how the base is looking like. We have this glowing around. It helps to sell a little bit. Of course, we have a lot of light, and this will not help because we will have shades that are not supposed to be there, especially if the source of light. But you see how it looks like, right? And I think it's quite nice. Looks quite interesting. It's something different. It's a way to reuse the stones that I put it, and was not a great base, was a very old base, and I think it's a way to modernize that. Okay, I hope you find this one interesting. I hope you have liked this one. I really enjoy painting this base, and now it's ready for Age of Sigmar. So and for the new base size, I used to use him only for 40k. Now we'll have the right base size for 40k and Age of Sigmar. That's all for this video, how I paint the Bloodthirster base. This is a request from a viewer, and I decide why not to share in camera how I'm doing the base. I hope this was inspiring for you. I hope you have liked this one, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.